Hey there guys, welcome back to part 3. Today is going to be a busy day because we are going to flex our wings a little bit. I'm going to be talking about our character's further development, how the reputation system works, and the overall ways you can play the character and develop your character and characters on Discover Freelancer. I'm just going to adjust my glasses a little bit, thank you. In the previous episode I said I would be going in depth on how the character ID works and how it ties to your character, this thing right here. But the thing is, if I wanted to go in depth about the ID, I would also have to include things like bounty hunting, advanced mining, the technology chart. Essentially, I would have to involve a lot of systems that the ID is a part of, and I realized that perhaps doing that for 30 minutes might make for a very, boring video. And for the most part, at our level right now, at our progression state, these mechanics are not relevant just yet. And I want to keep these videos sort of very newbie friendly, especially for people who've never played Freelancer before. So that was my sort of goal from the get-go. That's why I started off with the very, very basics, such as the how to navigate the menus, how inventory works, how the game mechanics work, so on and so forth. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the character itself, because we need a better ship for now. What I'm going to be doing in this video, I'm going to take another mission. We are going to make a little bit more money. Hopefully I can get something that is not in the New York system, because that's a jump away. And I still want to remain in Pennsylvania for the time being. Battleship Gettysburg is still buying those pilots that we can actually get. And since that's the case, I want to stick around here so the flight back wouldn't be as long and tedious. So, as usual, skipping all of the cinematics like a boss. So, what do you got? You know what? I want this. That seems like a slightly harder mission to do. So hopefully it's gonna be fun, and hopefully I'm not gonna die horribly. As usual, the best way to reach it is with the... Oh, don't you fucking dare ram me. That's another player who just took the trade lane at the same time as I did, and if he lags forward or backward, he might ram me, and I might die horribly. But... oh god, this is terrifying. You know what, I'm just gonna not risk it. So what are you, anyway? You are a rank 82 player called the ZNS Serenity, flying what looks like a large train. No, that's a stork with copper ore. Oh, wow. This guy is currently hauling about 70 million worth of stuff. Needless to say, if we delivered this amount of ore with that ship, we could make at least 3 or 4 characters, like fully decked out ships for PvP or PvE. Well, you know, we are slightly still away from that. But don't worry about it. We'll get there eventually. Soon. Alright, so, regarding the character's reputation, as you already saw, there's quite a few factions floating around. We saw a few of those NPCs in the bar, we see them flying around. We already saw some Liberty rogue ships flying around, being hostile, and also, obviously, the ones that we encountered during missions. Now, there's about 80 different factions in the game, and every single faction... I'm going to stop right here for a moment. And every single faction has some sort of starring reputation with you. Since we start off in Liberty, we are sort of unfriendly with the local criminal, group. So obviously Liberty Rogues are going to be hostile to us because they are one of the Liberty's iconic unlawful factions. So if you actually go to your player status up here or press F8, you will notice that on the left of this pop-up screen you're going to see all of the factions that you currently have encountered and know physically. And it's also going to display the reputation that you currently have with them. As you can see, the red ones are the Liberty Rogues and the Xenos. The Liberty Rogues, all of these factions are currently hostile to us. If we encounter these NPCs in space, they are going to attack us. The same goes for the Liberty Security Force, which is basically the Spetsnaz of the Liberty, so obviously they are not really friendly for us. Thankfully, their bases aren't public, and they're hostile to us just so we don't dock on their bases with this particular ship, unless we want to affiliate ourselves with Liberty Law Enforcement, which I, for now, don't want to do. Okay. Alright, rank 14 NPCs. Let's just regen our course for now. Okay, show me what you got. I don't actually have the better shield yet, so this might hurt a little bit. Or it might not. So far so good. I still don't have a countermeasure dropper, so as long as there's no NPCs with missiles, we're gonna be fine. And if I remember correctly, those start appearing from rank 15. Okay, so technically I just need to kill that one guy, but I get paid for every single pilot that I bring in. So we're going to try and kill all of them. Okay, that's a 17. Do they have missiles? Oh no, but... oh wow, they do have mines though. Okay, change in plans. We will need to kill this guy really quickly before we get shot up by his little friends. No. Okay, so this actually allowed us to get quite a few hits on him. Nanobots. I just used some, so I'm just going to come back and... okay, we are at full again. For nanobots, anyway. Please, please, please. We need to survive the first joust. And... oh wow. I'm prematurely hitting the shield key because I don't want to die horribly. Ooh. 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 Hell yeah. That's what you get for taking on a a high quality mission this early on in the game. You better be very, very careful and be very libertarious, or basically you need to press these buttons very fast, just so you don't die horribly. So, the more missions we're going to do against the rogues, the more they are gonna get pissed off. But see, there's this thing called faction affinity. The more we do against the rogues, the more we piss off the rogues. If we click on the Liberty Rogues here, it's going to say that their allies are outcasts, the lane hackers, and the mollies. It means the more we do against the Liberty Rogues, the more reputation damage we are going to suffer with all of their allies as well. So, this actually goes both ways, because we have done quite a few, well, not quite a few missions for the Liberty Police, as you can see, and their reputation is growing, but we haven't done any missions for the Liberty Navy, but as you can see, their reputation is slowly changing into the positive as well. So that's the thing. Managing your reputation isn't really as bad as it used to be back in the day, because many of the IDs that you actually get automatically adjust your reputation so that you are hostile with factions that you need to be hostile with and friendly with the factions that you're friendly with. So for example, I'm going to quickly deliver this mission cargo, because if you dock your mission cargo in any other base, it's actually going to fill the mission for you. Don't worry about it. And for now, let's quickly dock on the battleship Gettysburg, and I'm going to show you an example of, well, not an example, but for example, yeah, English, let's do that. So, for example, you want to become a member of the Liberty Navy. All you need to get is enough reputation. If you start off a new character, you just need enough reputation to buy this Liberty Navy ID. And when you do this, if you were neutral to any faction as a freelancer, if you were neutral to any faction that they are hostile to, this ID, upon the next undock, is going to permanently change your reputation and keep it hostile to those factions. Because that's how it works. There we go. As you can see, we are slowly getting there. We just need a couple of more missions and we are going to hit our first 1 million credits. So, let's see what we get. Well, there's a destroy all mission, but you see that they are against the Junkers, and I have an idea for this character as I want to develop it, so we're not going to touch the Junkers for now. More Junkers and Liberty Rogues. Weapon platforms. I'm not going to do that because I don't have a countermeasure dropper, and quite frankly, at this tier, I don't really need it. I'm going to get out of the ship fairly early on, well, fairly soon anyway, and as soon as I am, I will not really need that countermeasure dropper anyway for the ship that I'm going to fly. So let's see what these guys have. I've done a couple of missions, so maybe some of these NPCs might have something interesting to tell me. Oh, this fellow right here. Do you see how the icon, when I hover over this NPC with my mouse, how the icon actually changed to a dialog box with text? So let's see what he has for us.
What's up? Can I help you with something?
Any action going on?
First visit, eh?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I work for the Liberty Police. We run this place. Card. Everything seems to be in order. Well, just between us, I have heard a rumor.
All right. Give me the details.
Fine. Here's what I heard.
So, this time, since I'm doing a couple of missions for these guys and my reputation is slowly beginning to climb, these NPCs will start to give me rumors. So, for example, I just pulled a typical 8-hour shift here. Once I'm done, I'm done. I don't care if someone commits a crime in front of me, I'm off home. The company doesn't pay overtime. Besides, the chances of a crime happening on this planet are remote. Half of the time I even get put in charge of traffic control. You know how many I've arrested this week? Yeah, that's right. I hadn't arrested anyone. This position sucks. This is actually just flavor text, and you get it for free, but at least you kind of know... You kind of know what kind of attitude Liberty Police in general exhibits towards their job. And this is an interesting thing because this sort of attitude is copied by the players who roleplay characters that are in the Liberty Police. And you will often notice that they will try to not do their job correctly, by their own choice, by the choice of the player, obviously, but it makes a more engaging character to interact with, especially if you're in trouble and you need to help the police, and the police like, nah, I'm on break. Assholes. Alright guys, let's actually grab ourselves that mission real quick. More weapons platforms, don't want. Junker ships, don't want. Rogue ships, let's go with this. I think we could pull this off. The last one was 200, I think? Might actually be a little bit too much. Let's go with this. Again, the bulk of the money we get from the missions comes from the pilots anyway, so choosing small ones isn't really a big deal. But I want to invest in some sort of weapon that does good against shields. So I'm just going to grab myself a improved debilitator. And so we don't repeat the same situation where the NPC is trying to get away from us. We're also going to buy ourselves a cruise disruptor. This is one of those moments where we do have something that takes ammo, so we're going to buy that. Wasps are cheap, so there's no reason to not do that. And, well, that's pretty much it for now. The only other thing that I want to do here is stock up on shield batteries and nanobots again. Because the last mission was actually a little bit more complicated than I would have loved. But there you go. So the cruise disruptor is exactly what it sounds like. It's a specialized type of missile. Thank you. So this is going to be one of those times where the mission is actually somewhere to the side. So we're just going to press escape. And now we can fly all the way there without having to go to the very end of this lane and lose some time. This mission should be very easy. So yeah, all it does, it stops a ship from engaging their cruise engines, like I'm doing right now. And when they get hit, they get a disruption effect cooldown timer, which prevents them from starting up their cruise engines for another 5 seconds or so. Yeah? What was that? Who's out of their league? Thought so. Alright guys, since we are actually getting all the money from blowing up NPCs rather than actually doing the missions themselves, how about we actually start exploring this Pennsylvania system and just figuring out where we can find some NPCs on our own. Fields, in general, are very good for finding unlawful NPCs because that is usually where their bases are located. I, obviously, as a veteran player, I know where all the bases are in this system, but I'm going to still show you one of the ways that you can actually do this. Your nav map has this filter that is called the patrol path map. For most systems, you should be able to see overall where all of the NPCs are usually hanging out. These white lines, for example, for neutral patrols. As you explore the system a little bit more, you will find also ones for hostile and friendly NPCs. But that is not what we're looking for right now. Instead, we are looking for a pirate base, which is actually located around here somewhere, and what I'm looking for are the patrols that usually gather around that base. We currently have 3 that's the rock, 3 Liberty Rogue pilots, and that is their base in the distance. As you can see, it's obviously hostile to us, because we are in fact hostile to the Liberty Rogues, for now, anyway. And I would like to get some NPCs. There's only 43 players online on the server right now, so it's very early. So that means... Oh, that's a Xeno NPC. For some reason it is... I just disrupted him. Those NPCs also pay well on the Battleship Gettysburg. They pay for Liberty Rogues, Outcasts, Xenos, and the Lane Hackers. And hopefully we can grab a few more of those as we're sticking around. Oh, that's an interesting thing. So, there's one patrol that is from this base towards that side of the field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick around here, hopefully not get shot by this base. But I'm going to... Oh, there we go. And there's a patrol. I just disrupted them. So again, I'm looking for the pilots rather than anything else. Black market light arms. That's actually... that's a type of contraband. Where does it sell? Okinawa? Pennsylvania? No. It doesn't. Okay, guys, we just picked up some contraband. Which is... probably a bad idea, considering there's... this is a system that is very close to the capital sector of Liberty. I wonder, can we catch this NPC? Actually, we are... you know what? There is a certain base in this system which might buy these off of us for a pretty reasonable price. And I will be very glad to try and get there as soon as I catch this NPC for that pilot on it. So yes, as I already said, I didn't want to go into full detail about how the IDs work, because it's actually pretty freaking complicated. So, the ID is actually very simple. Freelancer, as a game, was never meant to be played like this, as a roleplay environment. It is a very good platform for roleplay environments, but it's obvious that the game was never designed to be that way. We are slowly gaining up because we have a smaller ship than them, by the way. I'm going to quickly check what is our maximum range. 2.5. We need to gain 500 more meters, and we will be able to catch this NPC. And we are slowly gaining on them, so that's a good thing. And there are many things we want our players, as they assume the roles of their characters, to do, and there are some things that we would rather not have them do. So for example, a Liberty Navy officer that is flying a battleship, it would be very prudent from a gameplay perspective not to allow them to simply start massacring people. We are within range. Apparently we're not. And now we're... okay, I guess that one went away. The problem is the base is back there, and I don't want to follow this damn NPC into the void of space. I'm going to jettison one cargo, and I'm going to pick up that rogue pilot instead. And now we're going to take a visit to this little big blue planet with that nice little ring, because it is actually the home of the Junkers. And the Junkers are, I'll be very quaint, one of my most favorite factions in the game, because they are so fucking sneaky. So the Junkers are a type of neutral or quasi-lawful faction, just like the Freelancer, because they technically, depending on the character and depending how you want to play that character, they swing both ways. They can be either completely lawful or they can be bastards. And we're going to jettison 2 because I have this feeling that we're going to be picking up this pilot as well. And that's really cool, and that is actually what I have in mind for this particular character of ours as we progress through the game. I already have a few things planned for him. But for now, we're actually going to visit one of their bases, because not only I want to see if that base actually buys our black market light arms, but I also want to see if there's some NPCs around them, because since the Junkers are a gray area... yeah, that's Allentown in the distance. There we go. Since they are a gray area, it means that this base is often frequented by hostile NPCs, criminal NPCs in general. Oh, look at this. This is actually a junker. And who's just said greetings. That is a player, by the way. Let's just exchange common courtesy. As you can see, we're currently neutral with the junkers. Let's keep it that way. Let's try and interact with the player if they are still there by the time we're done on this base. Okay, so I want to know if this base buys... Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. It sells slaves. And we actually can... That's a very good profit, actually. But the thing is, slaves are illegal. It's a type of contraband, obviously. So it is very beneficial. It's actually very profitable to run slaves. But obviously, you are going to get in trouble if you get caught. And I'm not talking about NPCs here, obviously. Alright guys, we have 71k to cruise back to planet Erie. But, well, that's what you get with exploration. At least this ship is fast. So, I actually have the time to talk about the idea a little bit more. As already said, due to the game's nature, there are a couple of things we want players to be able to do, and there are things that we don't want them to do. Take for example, the ID that we start off with. The Freelancer ID, for the most part, is neutral to everyone until proven otherwise, or unless the other party says that they're not. So, for example, the Liberty Navy or the Liberty Police, they're never going to harass us for no reason. And some pirates might even... We're going to grab these NPCs along the way, though. And some pirates, if we're not hauling anything specific, they might even, like, turn a blind eye and ignore us completely. But that's obviously a very good quality, so there has to be some sort of limitations to that. And one of the limitations is simply the fact that this ID, characters with this ID, may not freely engage other IDs. We're not combat orientated, we're actually, well, for the lack of a better analog term, civilians. Now, here's a funny thing that I always found very interesting about Freelancer in general. We're a civilian right now. We're a civilian that is trained to fly a combat-orientated spaceship and has possession of guns. Freelancer is technically a dystopian future nightmare, and I love it. When you start thinking about the gritty realism of such a setting, again, if you can immerse yourself in this sort of setting, it becomes so fucking fun. But yeah, we are actually going to get a pretty sizable chunk of money for this. We actually mapped out a fair amount of this system for ourselves, so that's always nice. I'm gonna set our destination to Battleship Gettysburg. No, not the server rules, boy. But the Battleship Gettysburg. Yeah, there we go. And that was the autopilot trying to fly us not into the sun. Thank you. It's kind of funny, some ships are better at avoiding this sort of nonsense than others, but, well, there you go. So yeah, let's actually take a look real quick. So, freelancers are people not affiliated with any faction in particular. They generally operate independent trade ships or small ships in general. They sometimes act as mercenaries, but mostly just explore areas, taking the odd job here or there on pay for fuel and supplies. The pilot carrying this quasi-lawful ID is a freelancer who can attack any ship in self-defense or to protect a friendly or allied ship only. See? That's what I'm talking about. You cannot just engage anyone. They can fill bounty contracts, I'm going to talk about a little bit more, and they cannot use any transports with more than 3,600 cargo. This is more of a balance limitation, but it does make sense in roleplay. You're not really going to be running around with an 18-wheeler as a civvy, right? If you want a very large trade ship, you will have to go to one of the corporations. You'll have to make a character that is a part of some sort of corporation that employs such ships. This is mostly to avoid players sticking to one specific trade route and to space them out on the server a little bit. But there you go. That's 500,000. And boom! Episode 3, we have reached 1 million credits, guys. Before we sign off for today, we are going to pay a visit to the next station over, and I'm going to show you the ship that I'm going to be aiming for the next episode. I'm not going to record all of my footage. I'm going to keep running missions, and I'm going to eventually get up for the next ship, save up money for the next ship, and we are going to continue our adventures from there and talk about trade. We're going to talk about advanced mining, and a few other things. I suppose since the last episode, I'm not going to make predictions of what I'm going to talk about, because I can change my mind on a whim, but hopefully by the time of the next episode, we are going to have expanded enough to actually leave the Pennsylvania system and get out there and explore it a little bit more and encounter other characters. So this is the ship that I'm saving up for. It is a transport. It is going to be our starting ship. So the moment we are going to buy the ship, that is the point where I think that I have achieved enough to actually start fleshing out the character itself and start building up what it is that I'm trying to roleplay here. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys. I'm going to see you in the next episode, and hopefully by that time I'm going to have the ship. Anyway, this is Fancy Dragon aka Syndromes. Fly safe.